With all this talk of craziness going around everywhere, I figured I'd bring a little relief before I actually dive into a video of the craziness by bringing some art by a guy named Jan Van der Straet, who was a Flemish artist from the 16th century, spent a lot of times in Florence, Venice, and was amazing. He did so many different things: landscapes, painting, etchings, engravings, just a sculpture. I think he did really everything. He really appreciated the arts and alchemy and all kinds of interesting things. And he did an incredible book called New Discoveries about the kind of America and all the kind of things they were discovering around that time, or things that they were reviving from the ancients that they had discovered. And he did some amazing, absolutely incredible art. This is called Allegory of the Arts, which is just awesome. He really does a lot of very symbolic, detailed, incredibly awesome artwork, and I wanted to share it all with you guys because it'll help you take your minds off of the nonsense that's going on out there. So this is the book if you want to find it on archive.org, and I translated some of the pictures, so let's dive in. So the book is called Nova Reperta, or New Discoveries, and this is the numbered page opener. So it has a few different numbers down there. 1 is America. You can find the numbers all over the artwork, so you can kind of put them together. 2 is Polar Stone. 3, Fire Element Powder. 4, Printed Rolls. 5, Implanted in the Hour of the Peaks of Iron. 6, Hyacinth maybe. 7, From the Drop Fire. 8, Wires Holidays. 9, An Ancient Covered by Delaying the Tartar, or Everything is Covered by Ancient Tartar. I thought that was very interesting. Not sure what that means. Number 2, American America Unveiled. And it says, Once awake, always wakened. So that, I'm not sure exactly what that refers to, but this all came around the time, the late 1500s, I believe 1590, and so I'm just going to translate this Latin for you, but once awake, always wakened. So I think it's always been here. America's always been here. 3, Magnetic Polar Stone, or stone opened this flavor, or flavio, permeates, and pole to love this, but the sailors. So a lot of this is pretty poetic. I'm not sure exactly what it means. Some of the translation was a little bit off, but I tried to do my best, so you can kind of get a feel with each of the terms. Number 4, dust powder or gunpowder. Perfumes, handshaken lightning bolts, given the grave from those who envy it, or it seems that it has been given to the envious from the realm of the blank. I wonder what that is, from the realm of the evil, or depends. I mean, you can use gunpowder for good, I guess, but we'll see. Number 5, the clock's iron. Fair share of high iron wheel turns, as well as the times of the former and the latter opens. So it's all very kind of symbolic language, and it just proves that these people were in a very beautifully well-written, well-spoken time period that just is a lot different than now. Everything was really symbolic and meaningful. Number 6, Hyas, which I think is hyacinth, I'm not sure, and venereal infection. So I'm not sure, it's kind of the disease and the cure. Are afflicted by this disease soft members, and disload the baking of a tree. This is the sorpta. So that must be the cure for venereal disease back then, which probably spread like crazy depending on what kind of businesses were going on, the ancient ones. Distillation, the fire flavor of art in bodies, is to be observed, waters clean and relying on. So this was an absolute necessary step back then, distilling the water, and what a great discovery that must have been when they realized they could purify the water and keep it clean to be drinking, and by the fire flavor of art. I love that. Number 8, Ser, or the silkworm. Right, something gets the worm eggs. Sarinda from the city, the threads of the golden net, or the net of gold. So silkworms were just a great way for them to get clothing. It became an art form, and they kind of get them from those little worms, from the butts of silkworms. So pretty interesting, nice discovery. Art number 9, staff or stirrup. The feet of the on the ground as drawn up for the horse, a sitting bath, and quickly removed so that the ladder itself raises up the. So pretty intense, pretty interesting. You know, the staff or the stirrup. And just the guy in the background's got his staff up, and it's a very important invention for the horse. Art number 10, water mill. Anyone's water supply in old mills. Think that their discovery cannot fix it all the way. So that is a good use. I'm sure water mills have been around for a long time for a variety of purposes. They used water a lot back then as a fuel and just ways of travel and all kinds of things. Art number 11, the mill wings. Wings that the winds will now be a millstone. Unknown Roman properties said. So who knows how long the windmill again has been around, but using the force of the wind to generate power, probably a lot more efficient than the useless ones that you see nowadays all over America that are barely ever turned on and waste electricity in order to work. They had it a lot better back then. They were a little bit smarter. Sugar, by which the sugar will be prepared for the skill, the more part. The picture which you see, you will learn your manners, or you see how nature picks to teach you manners. So that's pretty interesting. They might have had totally different uses for sugar back then, and they knew that it kind of got you a little wild, and nature, you know, what nature has a way of doing a lot of things. There's a lot of secrets in every creation of nature. Art number 13, the color olive, or it might be oil, I'm not sure, but color of olive is convenience for painters, so it might be oil. She found a remarkable teacher, Eyck, and I think they're talking about Jan van Eyck, which was one of the great artists of the past, and they probably found inspiration through him. And if they had old paintings, they definitely studied those, you know, old from another time. They studied them to figure out how to do these things. This one is interesting, Conspicilla, and I couldn't find the meaning of this, but found out that the lights and the darker disclose the shroud, or discovering the darker dimness. So this must have to do with like either sunglasses or glasses in general, the invention, discovery of being able to, you know, see better with use of tempered and strategic glass. That's a pretty important discovery. Art 15, the lengths of the magnet by the pole of the decline of the New World were found out of the often little on either a magnetic path. He gives to find a unique port, Plancius, or he gives finding a landing everywhere, Plancius. I'm not sure what that word means, but very interesting too. I like that, magnetic pathy, but there's a lot of pole magnetic stuff here. Art 16, Polish armor equipment, swords, axes, armor, balona, and all things. Our not ancient times are polite, or are not long, they are polished with time. So, very interesting. You need armor to do a lot of different things, and maybe around then, and they probably took it from the Polish, apparently, I don't know. And this is an interesting one, Astrolab. America's Vespucci, when for the stars in the night without a word from the cross, tough to read, or has denied it was put to silence in the night, the stars, the cross. So they talk about the Southern Cross here, which is pretty interesting because Europe and stuff shouldn't really be able to see that, I didn't think. So then I translated all that stuff on the side, and it says Dante Alighierius Florentinus, which is talking about the poet Dante, a poet around 1300, describes 4 Antarctica stars, sees the purified. By these words he brought to them in his letter from the America Vespucci. So I wonder if North and South were switched at one point. I wouldn't be surprised. They like to reverse everything. But here we go. I turned to the right hand and positively to the other pole, and I saw 4 stars never seen before the first people. Goater seemed the sky of their flames, or north I will see sight, before you are deprived of targeting those. I looked at from the middle towards the sky, the stars of the 4 poles of the bastard in there. I signed an order, unless the superior in the nation, seen by no one. Brilliant pulses flame 4 times as high. I perceived the world bereft of noise when you expect to see so many lights. So really awesome. So maybe they were looking down at Antarctica and seeing the Southern Cross, but they really wondered what those stars meant, and I do too. I wonder really what is, if you keep following them down there, keep going south, what will you find? And keep going up too. One day we will, I pray. And then this is a little extra. This is bonus one, books imprint, books printing. It is possible that there is one word to be captured, the ear of many things. Have plastered the pages of 1,000, and so with one written. So the printing, a very important invention, and it was not just Gutenberg. People were probably doing this for thousands of years. So much printing, so many books have been destroyed, sadly. And bonus number two, sculpture and art. Sculptor of the new arts, braced in foil, scratches the figures and presses into the effect. So this is kind of their techniques of sculpture back in the day, and they had many with the hands, with different machines, with all different possibilities. And the people of the past were master sculptors. We've seen that, and they really could do things that it seems like people can't do now, but they took it very seriously, and they really paid homage to the invincible, or the things that we just don't know anymore, and we can discover them. And so this is the artist. This guy was the man, Jan Van der Straet. So it's always good to know another artist in the repertoire like PEACEin and all these other guys who really dedicated their lives to creating art that made people think, made people question reality, made people look a little deeper into their lives, and that really is my purpose as well. I pray that my art affects people in a positive way, and that I can be remembered as someone who, used their time here to help make others enlightened and feel better about themselves. And this is going to be something that you'll see future on. I'll let you know this artwork actually has a specific purpose, which will come out around Earth Day. But above all, love all, and that is true. And no matter what is going on, whether this plague is real or fake, we all have to love, and they're counting on us all to hate each other, fight over food, fight over resources, fight over toilet paper, but we can't. We have to love each other, and we have to really take out those who are doing this. And we can have love for them, but we also have to hold them to justice. So above all, love your neighbor. Maybe don't get too close because they say so and it's being frowned upon, but have no fear, really. Trust in your heart, and you will know what's up. And if you get time, create something. Being quarantined is the perfect time to create art. Bless you all. Have a great one. Stay safe and healthy.